Hey everybody, so this is starting part 4 of our quarter 1 review. We should be at this point on about question 26 if you're doing about 8 problems every day. This first one here, if you start to take a look, it says graph the function rule. Well, remember function rules, all of our function rules. We have linear functions, we have quadratic functions. Remember, linear is a line, quadratic is a U-shaped graph, could point up or down. We have, like this problem says, y equals the absolute value. Absolute values are v's. Think of value v makes a v shape. And then we have the exponential functions are what we dealt with this quarter. Those are the ones either the sharp turn up, like the coronavirus map, or the sharp turn down when you come off that curve. So you have to stop and take a look and think. Each one of these have different shapes, but they all have a parent function. So that parent function is always centered at the origin. Anything that makes the graph move up or down, left or right, all will affect the function and the way it works. So let's take a look at this first problem. Okay, we had said before that when we look at these, anything that's any number outside the function, if it's added outside of the function, it makes the graph move up. If it's subtracted outside the function, it makes the graph move down. So this is outside. And if it's inside the function, we have the same thing. So notice this particular thing we're doing is outside the function. If it was inside the function, when we move up, it moves the function to the left. If it's a negative, well, then it's going to move the function to the right. So positive number inside the function moves left. Negative number inside the function moves it to the right. So let's take a look. First off, we have to look at this. It wants us to select the graph that appropriately looks at the way this is. If we are looking at the absolute value function, its parent function is centered at the origin. Okay, it says here that we are taking away 3 from the outside. So outside the function, minus means we move down. So it should be a v that goes down 1, 2, 3 spots. All right, first, a, that is a quadratic function, not absolute. Same thing with c. This one is pointing down. Remember, we talked a little bit about this. If you have a negative sign out front of the function, that would make it flip upside down. So these two are the only v's. One is pointed upside down, and this one you can see is moved down 3 spots. So you are good to go on that one. Next ones, we have 3 of them, 4 of them, that are all going to ask us. The whole last chunk is about wanting to be able to write a function rule or create an equation. Function rule, equation, same thing. Create a function rule. If they give it to you in English words or in a word problem, can you translate it into a numerical form? So you're going to have y equals, or maybe you'll have f of x, because remember this is function notation. And then we have to sit here and turn it into it. So we have to read it carefully. Remember what I said before, that most of the time a function rule, it comes from one sentence. The amount y of your friend's allowance is the amount she receives, $10 more than the amount x you receive. So she gets $10 more than whatever you get. We don't know what you get, so we're using the x variable. So here's what you have, x. And it's always going to be more than. So in a symbol like this, you know, we're talking about this is an equation. More than would be adding to what you currently have. And how much are you adding to what you currently have? We're adding $10 more. Notice I marked the text. I marked only the important pieces we need. The amount y of your friend's allowance if she receives $10 more than yours. So here's the equation that's going to represent how much your friend makes. compared to how much you make. Look at the next one. We have here, write a function rule that represents the sentence. Y is 4 less than the product of 9 and x. Okay, so here's an important part. In this case here, we're going to use function notation. So y is going to be f of x. And it's 4 and less than. So let's see what our things are. What mathematical symbol is less than? Well, we know it could be this. But this is not an inequality. This is an equation we're writing. So we've already used an equal sign, so it can't be this. Less than, it also means we can subtract something from it. So we're going to have 4 less than something else. Okay, 4 less than. So we're going to take away 4 from this. So this has to go first. 9, the product of. So product is, again, another thing. That means what? Multiplication. So 9x, the product of 9 and x, and then we have 4 less than that. So here's your product, and then you take away 4. Great. These two we're going to talk about because we just did 2 examples. Now you're going to be able to do it, but we'll go over it just talking about it. It says, so the total C, when you write your equations, guys, please, please, please be very careful to be mindful of what variable are they using? And is the variable an uppercase, like C is, or lowercase, like P is? Okay? So this equation says the total cost. So the total cost of the amount of pounds of plutonium, if each pound cost $4.53. So the total cost is going to equal what? The amount of plutonium times how much you've paid for it. So make sure you're using the little p. So 4.53 times the variable that represents plutonium. Make sure in this problem that you are using little p and you're using a capital C or whatever variable they give you. 30. 30 is going to look something like this. Okay, so the price P of a pizza is $6.75 plus, so the price P is another word that we use for symbols in math. Is plus is a plus sign. Okay. The price P of pizza is, so pizza equals 6.75, that's the price of the pizza, plus 70 cents for each of the toppings T. So we have numbers here and a number here. 70 cents in T. What are we doing to 70 cents and T? 70 cents for each. For each. This is multiplication. So if you have one topping, it's 70 cents. If you have no topping, it's no cents. And you keep going on from there. Okay? So P, the price of your pizza, equals, there's an initial value, an initial charge. If you get a pizza with no toppings, that pizza is going to cost $6.75. So this would be your B in your equation. Y equals mx plus b. It's your initial value, the initial charge for pizza. And how much does each topping cost? What is that constant change for the toppings? Here's your m. And you should be able to put these together. Okay? We will finish 30 through 37 as Friday's work. I'll have a whole other video for you on that. Get busy, do your work. I hope you're following along, guys.